Hello everyone and welcome back to the MSI Battle of Pride. This is the grand finale, yay! Game 2 I guess of a best of 5. Warriors Gaming came from the upper brackets, so they do have a 1 game advantage. XctN gonna have 3 games to win it. If they can't win 3 games out of 4 then Warriors Gaming can take the prize. Either way, thank you of course to MSI for sponsoring this tournament as well as Dota 2 Lounge. And as always, thank you to all you people for supporting the Southeast Asian Dota 2 scene. I'm already super excited for this game. Meepo got through the draft and I'm sitting there thinking XctN, Abed, Meepo, a match made in heaven. But then Warriors Gaming picked the Meepo up in their second pick. So Arjit, I'm reasonably sure he's the Meepo player for Warriors Gaming, and he plays it quite well as well, so this should be a super exciting game because if anyone knows how to counter Meepo, it's going to be Abed, and I'm pretty sure he is going to be on that Invoker against the Meepo in the mid lane. Even more excitement, though Warriors Gaming do have a Tiny Wisp, and Tiny Wisp normally does go mid, securing the runes for the Wisp, so on and so forth, but we'll have to see what they do opt to with these lanes. XctN though looking like a lot of single target. They've got massive combo with the Shadow Demon Disruption into the Torrent, into the Mirana Arrow. That is enough to basically insta-give any hero. They're going to have 2 illusions of their own smacking themselves. They're going to have the Torrent landing on their head and then they're going to have a 5-second arrow stunning them down. So a lot of lockdown, but it's a lot of single target. AoE wise, they've got, Invoker, but he's not really relevant until later into the game. They have got the bow ship, of course, and they're going to have that Mirana with the Arcanum Scepter. The double Starstorm is quite nice, but I feel like as their last pick for the offlane, they might want to grab someone with a little bit more, bang for the team fights. Of course, Warriors Gaming potentially might want to go a little bit more sort of mid-game, so maybe XctN would be better to take a pushing hero so they can end the game a little bit earlier, at least get a lot of towers down. Because right now the mid game for Warriors Gaming looks absolutely terrifying. They've got a Meepo who obviously scales very early into the game and becomes a machine if you don't shut him down. They've got a Wisp and a Tiny. Wisp of course buffs Tiny up and removes a lot of his sort of downsides. Normally Tiny is a little bit weaker because he's got very low base armor and he attacks so slowly. And he also has a lot of mana problems. But Wisp also basically solves all of those. He makes him take less damage with overcharge and makes him attack faster. He can boost his mana up using tether and bottling himself up. So Wisp Tiny is a very terrifying combo. And that does make Tiny be able to come online a lot earlier than he normally would, including being able to dominate that mid lane because he doesn't have to waste time going to get runes because Wisp will do the hard work for him. But they go for the Elder Titan as the last pick. So how is this going to be laned is the question. Elder Titan, Shadow Demon maybe supports. No, that's going to be a support Kunkka and a support Shadow Demon. So it must be an offlane Elder Titan. And that's something we don't see much anymore. Elder Titan seems to be played as a support primarily. But ET is fantastic against Meepo because of his aura. Going to be removing all of the Meepo's, extra resistances. That's not really a word, but you know what I mean. And it's going to be making Meepo a little bit squishier and a little bit easier to kill. And I'm lagging out a little bit. Is that all good? Alright, perfect. So, though, what are we going to be seeing? On the side of XctN, it's going to be Chemo. Oh, nice focus set. Chemo playing the Kunkka. What mate? You what mate is going to be playing the Elder Titan on the offlane. Sophie Turner, aka Abed, is going to be playing the Invoker. Lots of exclamation marks, is going to be playing the Mirana. And DJ is going to be playing the Shadow Demon. On the side of WG Unity, we're going to be having Afu playing the Wisp. Ajit, is going to be on that Meepo. Nana is going to be on the Tiny. Oracle is going to be played by Wen. And Axe is going to be played by Kang. So looking quite aggressive from both teams, honestly. We're not really seeing any super hard late game carries from either side. I would say XctN are really about the pickoffs. They want to kill people with this Shadow Demon Kunkka combo. Not as many team fights though. I think the aim of their game is going to be getting map control of the enemy jungle very, very early into the game. They do not want to let that Meepo farm up. If they let go of that jungle, and give the Meepo free reign, they are going to be they're going to be having a lot of trouble, put it that way. They have to shut down that Meepo. But at the same time, of course, they've got this Wisp Tiny to deal with, who's also going to be rotating around the map farming quite aggressively. And the downside for WG Unity is it's going to be a lot of farm that they need to get out. Meepo normally takes up 2 to 3 lanes, or 2 lanes of the jungle by himself, because he can rotate around the map very quickly. Typically on Meepo you go for boots of travel very early into the game to really utilize that global map presence that a Meepo can have. And when you combine that with having a tiny Wisp who also are going to be going across the map, it leads to great global presence, but it's also going to be leading to a bit of starvation of the other heroes. So unless Axe can find a lot of kills, he's going to be running around with probably just a Blink Dagger and a Vanguard maybe, and not really having very many places to farm. The 2 supports, Wisp and Oracle, again, unless they get a lot of kills in the early game, this Wisp and Oracle are going to be right down the bottom of the charts in net worth, just because there's not going to be any room to farm having a Meepo and a Tiny on the same team. But that is all assuming that the Meepo and the Tiny don't go for killing builds, which normally Tiny does. Normally you will see Tiny picking up items like the Blink Dagger and just sort of rotating around the map. But yeah, we'll have to see how this does go down. Sun striking again a last hit. That's adorable. So on the side of Execration though, so like I said, a lot of single target nuking power. AoE, they don't have the strongest AoE lineup. So I mean, they've got the Elder Titan with the Earth Splitter, but they don't really have any particularly strong setup for it. So Earth Splitter really excels in games where you have something like the Darkseer to drag everyone in together, Black Hole, basically anything where the enemy team is going to be nice and clumped up or in a line. And that just doesn't really... None of the heroes on Execration's side are going to be helping him do that. So his Earth Splitter I think is primarily going to be used to shut down the Meepo. You land that Meepo in the middle of the Earth Splitter, it is going to be hard for him to get out of it just because he will block himself. But it's not going to... It's probably not going to be, a Rampage Elder Titan. And that does lead to them having a little bit less AoE in the early game. Like I said, Invoker, very strong hero, but typically Invoker is going to be farming up a lot. And with this Exort build, usually he goes for a Midas. And with the Midas, he needs to spend more time farming. And I'm assuming against a Meepo, Tiny, Wisp, he's going to want to go for a Boots of Travel as well. So by the time he gets the Midas and the Boots of Travel, probably be around 15 minutes into the game, and that's when he'll finally start to get items to actually help the team out, like an Argonum Scepter. So I wouldn't really actually be going in. Stun, tossing him back, but he might have just got the courier killed. Nope. Sophie Turner not having any of it, and he's just going to back out. Turns around, summons a Forge Spirit, throwing a little bit of damage on Arfu there, but he has of course got that salve, and as I'm ranting on, First Blood going down on the top lane, there was a... actually no rotation there, it's just the Meepo hit level 2, or level 3. Summing out the second Meepo, that's what I meant to say. And they do manage to take down that offlane Elder Titan. And already Arjun off to a pretty good start on this Meepo. Now he didn't get the First Blood himself, the Oracle managed to whisk it away there, but he did get the bonus golden experience from being nearby. Mid lane as well, Sophie Turner now in a little bit of trouble, the stun's coming out, Wisp is auto-attacking him down, and again with that overcharge, 5% reduced incoming damage, it is quite significant in the early game. Nana taking a lot of harassment, but the Wisp is just bottling him up as well. And this is why this mid lane is incredibly painful and hard to verse as a solo hero. Right now I feel like maybe DJ could come mid lane. A nice disruption at a key time could actually help quite a lot with dealing with the Wisp and Tiny combo if they decide to dive. But I think DJ's focus right now is actually farming for himself in the jungle. See already he's level 4, looking at the total levels. I mean, he's the same level as all these cores and solos. So he really doesn't seem to mind too much about just sitting here. One thing he could do as well is he could start stacking up this camp for himself and clear it. Once you hit level 5 on the Shadow Poison, you can kill as many stacks of this camp as you want. It just takes all your mana. But if he's not going to be rotating around and there's nobody really in the offlane to deal with, then he could definitely do that. It just depends on if he feels like it or if he wants to just keep, pulling the small camp slowly. Of course, he is denying experience from the Axe right now, and at the same time he would have to worry about if he stacked this camp up a lot, would Axe come and steal it. That would be the two main concerns he has. But it looks like Axe is primarily sort of hanging out in the jungle. Mirana, she's got basically free farm, and she's getting a lot of denies, so there's not really that much. Wisp going to be initiated on the top lane, and Xbox support, he can't get out. At the same time though, Elder Titan got taken down up here, again by that Oracle and Meepo, but Oracle's still in the last hit. So a 1-for-1 trade. This kill isn't lining up, so the golden experience change isn't going to be relevant yet, but Elder Titan dying again, it's not great, and I think the biggest problem is in fact that they're giving Meepos a lot of kills. Like a lot of kills. 2 kills already at 4 minutes into the game. He's got 1.5k gold, so this Boots of Travel will be up incredibly quickly, and once he's got the Boots of Travel and his third Meepo, and as I'm talking on down the bot lane, Sunstrike going to be taking down the Axe with a Starstorm, and once he's got the level 2 Divided We Stand, the third Meepo, he can pretty much be anywhere on the map as many times as he wants. So it is a little bit of a terrifying prospect for him to be leveling up so fast and getting so many, you know, so much farm and so many kills. He's just poofing away there. Now he has gone back to the base. Not enough for the Boots travel yet, so he's going to have to head back and continue farming. But I don't think he really minds. He's in a very good position right now. But on the bot lane, could be seeing a kill come out. The disruption going to be coming through. The arrow is in position, landing onto Kang there. They need a Sunstrike. Sunstrike is going to be coming around, and there we go. Third kill on the board there. 2 kills on the Axe, so he's now actually 3 kills. No, he died once in the jungle. Yeah, 2 kills on the Axe. So he is drawing even with this offlane Elder Titan, who's also 0-2. So not necessarily the worst start for either team. Right now though, like I said, I think the pressure's on XctN to keep bullying Meepo and Tiny. That's basically the big thing, and they are getting a lot of farm right now, which is good, but they do need to make sure they start keeping the pressure up on Meepo. And you can see already he's rotated into the jungle. There's some stacks for him. It's a nice 3 stack there, and with that he's going to be getting a lot of golden experience, and they need to shut that down as much as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if the XctN supports, now that they're getting close to their level 6s. What's DJ on? He's 5.5, Kunker's on 5 and a little bit. Rotate over here, maybe put a ward up here, one around here somewhere, or maybe even up here, that classic old ward spot. But just making sure they can see the jungle at all times, because really they want to start ganking Meepo. But of course, I mean, Abed knows best, the Invoker. He obviously is well known for his Meepo plays, so he will be capable of deciding when they go gank Meepo, or if they want to at all. And actually that's very interesting. He's going for the Midas. No, he picked up a Bracer. So that's a bit curious. He's not rushing a Midas, it looks like. He's picked up the Gloves of Haste, but he's also got a little bit more stats from the Bracer, so maybe we're going to be seeing a drum coming out. I think last time we saw him play Invoker he did get a drum up, so that might be his build. I'm sorry, my mouse is like not working. Oh, my mouse isn't working. Okay, there we go. Sorry, he might be going for the drums, and I think last time I did see him play, he went for the drums. He went for a little bit more of a speedy Invoker build. Probably not a bad idea this game. Oh, and actually Kunker, he might be in a little bit of trouble. He's not going to throw out the torrent. Waiting for the stomp maybe? No, he will throw it out at the end there. Possibly he animation cancelled too early. Either way, he's going to go down, putting that on 4-4 on the board. Disruption coming out as well as a stomp, but Oracle's going to be getting a heal off. He goes for the call, but not going to be catching anyone. And Meepo's still just being terrifying there. He's got the Boots travel and already another 800 gold. Behind this tower now. DJ is so dead. Nana is just waiting for it. That is a sad little DJ on my mouse. I'm sorry, it's not working. I'll use a keyboard. Okay, Nana getting very, very low. A couple more hits and he will be going down there. Okay. So Nana getting return kill on Tiny. So wait, Nana is the Tiny. Exclamation mark getting return kill there on the Tiny. Yep. So probably a good trade there actually for XctN, killing the mid in exchange for support. But I mean, at the same time, it's always just while Meepo is free farming. Anyway, this is a dead Elder Titan. really overstaying his welcome. Oh wait, they missed the call. He's on the run. Kunka's there. Torrent going to be coming out to zone in the back. Tiny is chasing after them. Throwing out the Axe actually, and now Axe, as he got the slam dunk, he does have it ready, but X marks the spot, going to be pushing him back. Stomp as well, possibly coming through. The magic community is there. The Torrent is not going to land, but DJ's there, trying to get the demonic purge off. Axe is going to get hit there by the Oracle ulti, healing him up. Wisp has tethered him up as well. Oracle quite low, but Tiny going for the stun toss combo on DJ. DJ making it out on 80 health, barely surviving that nuke, but he does manage to survive. And even though there was a lot of hero rotation coming out from WG, they didn't manage to score a kill. Now Chemo is even looking quite aggressively, like he wants to maybe try and take down Nana, but I don't think Nana is going to be that easy to kill off at this point. He's sitting on 1.3k health, which is quite high for this early into the game. Even the Axe is only on 940 health. Oh, he's on 1000 now. Leveled up. Okay, so it's 10 minutes into the game. Net worth wise, exclamation mark is doing the best on the Mirana, sitting on 4,900. Meepo is a little bit behind, so that does give them a little bit of hope that the Mirana is so fat. 2-0 for her. She does need to try and find something. Now she sees Wen, but Wen is quite hard for her to kill unless she does hit an arrow, and no she does not, because Wen randomly turns around and she realizes she needs to get out of there. A lot of people nearby. Elder Titan now moving up. No wards on him though, he's not a support, so while they have got one ward sitting up here right now, the map control in the jungle is still quite limited, and Meepo is going to be using and abusing this. He's not going to be, you know, sitting idly by. In fact, he has rotated into the Radiant jungle, farming up a little bit down there. Not necessarily the worst idea, especially if he is afraid that they've warded up his own jungle. They're even stacking the jungle for him. Stacking out the Radiant jungle, and Sunstrike going to be coming out. Meepo, he might be taking a fall here actually. Mirana with the arrow, nice arrow coming through, but the ulti there from the Oracle saving him because the whole enemy team is backing him up. DJ going to be taking a fall, the boat comes out, keeping Chemo alive, the Moonlight Shadow as well, the Dust is going to be popped there. Mirana running into all of them, but she did get caught. No, she doesn't have the Moonlight Shadow on her. The X marks the spot coming through, going to be bringing back Arfu after the relocate out. And Wen going to be taking a fall as well. So it's a 1-for-2 trade. All supports going down there. Wouldn't say anyone necessarily important died, but really XctN came out on top. Good amount of gold going to the Invoker. Nice amount of gold as well going to the Kunkka. But at the same time, Meepo didn't die. He was on 2 health. Something incredibly small, but that Oracle ulti, I mean, that was definitely a great trade for WG Unity. Losing the Wisp and the Oracle. Wisp saved Tiny. He got him the hell out of there with the relocate. And the Oracle saved the Meepo. So 2 supports died, but they saved these 2 very important cores. And if an Oracle and a Wisp do anything, saving their cores is pretty much the most important thing they can do. And especially in a game where they've got 2 very hard farming cores. And Mirana actually going to be catching Wisp out. Getting a kill there. It's a killing spree for him. His Ag's getting very, very close to being done. Just needs another 1,500. He's actually chasing after the Meepo. Meepo just needs another 1,000 gold for it to be completed. But Meepo obviously farms a lot faster when fighting the hard fight. Heals a creep, then tries to auto attack it down, but his auto attacks do less than his heal. Yes, but Mirana now getting this T1 tower on the top lane. That should boost her probably pretty close to the Meepo in terms of finishing that Ags up. No rotational defense coming out, and it looks like finally the supports have started to come into the jungle. They want to shut down this Meepo now. Ajit is going to be trying to teleport out. Oh, they're going to catch one. No, he's going to be keeping the Meepo there. Sunstrike coming through, the boat, the torrent, everything on Ajit's head, and he does take a fall. He's pinging out, thinking that maybe there's a ward there. The ward is actually up here. They didn't have vision there. There was just a sort of a fluke that they managed to run into the Meepo, but that was pretty much ideal for them, catching him out of position and taking him down. And now I think the Radiant are going to be making the Dire jungle their home, and vice versa. WG Unity are probably going to be spending a lot more time down on the Radiant side. XctN are going to be on the offensive now, and that is something they generally do quite well. They are definitely a team that's comfortable playing on the enemy ground, going forward really, really aggressively. And I mean, look at these wards. This is to catch the rotations of anyone leaving the base, so they'll be able to see if Meepo comes this way or comes this way. And with this ward up here as well, they'll be able to see if Meepo even comes out from, you know, the tier tier 3 up here. They're going to see pretty much any entrances into that jungle, which is really what they need to do if they're going to keep, you know, farming on the Meepo. Of course, the response to Tiny, I'm not sure what they've got right now to counteract that Tiny. Really, they need to have the Invoker picking off the 2 supports of the Wisp and the Oracle. That's ideal. Oh, and a relocate game coming out now on the top lane. Disruption going to be maybe keeping DJ alive. The vote coming out from Kanka not going to be enough, and the 2 supports will be taking a fall there. That's 2 free kills, double kill in fact for Kang. After his Blink Dagger pickup, that's going to get him a little bit closer to that Vanguard. And a massive 1,500 experience there. And that is sort of the power of having that Wisp Tiny, is that the supports going around by themselves for Execration side is quite nice. Oh, arrow onto Kang. Mirana has got the Ags, the Sunstrike's coming out, the double Starstorm. But with that Wisp and the Oracle, how can you kill anyone? They've got magic immunity, they've got damage reduction, they've got an instant don't die please buddy with the false promise. And the Sneaker Axe. A little bit delayed but still fairly quickly picked up. Golden experience total is sitting slightly in favor of Execration, but I feel like it should be a little bit more. Now they still do have maybe another 5, 10, 15 minutes to really get things in their favor before this Tiny and Meepo become a big problem, but you can see even now, DJ, oh, he's getting a little bit of trouble. The Meepos are poofing in, he's trying to juke his way around. Moonlight Shadow's going to be coming out. He does not have any detection, so he might be able to make it out here, but I mean, look at that, that is terror incarnate. But Kunka's coming in. Oh, they're going to X marks the spot. One of the Meepos, the Torrent, the boat, the Sunstrike, everything on his head. And see you later, Arjit. Fantastic rotation coming out there. I guess that was maybe a little bit of a bait, but really well played there by Execration. And Arjit now, well, I think he needs to play a little bit more defensively, because normally picking up a support is easy as pie, but he wasn't carrying dust, so he couldn't get that insta-kill and back out. He sort of got caught in the trees there, and, well, Execration do have some pretty nice counters to the Meepo escape with the disruption and the X marks the spot, making sure that he can't get away as he normally would. I mean, X marks the spot especially is a great counter to the Meepo, because all 5 poof away, 1 gets brought back, and the other 4 can't do anything. You're just left, you know, 1/5 of your real power standing there. And Mirana, she's going in. She wants to try and catch someone out, going for the double Starstorm onto Wen. Wen just going to magic immune himself, and X marks the spot, going to bring it back. But the aggression is coming out again. Execration are avoiding the jungle now, but of course they can see, you know, it's sort of empty right now, and they can't see over here, but they don't need to, because they, you know, they know that Tiny and Wisp are on the top lane, farming up. They know that Wen City around here. In fact, they can even see the rotation coming out from the Meepo, and they know that a fight is coming. Axe going forward with the but Blink Dagger onto the Invoker's going to be keeping him alive. Half a second. Ghostwalk coming out. Boat not going to be stopping Nana from doing his thing, because Wen is there with the false promise. Arthur going to be taking a fall with a nice Sunstrike on the backlines there by the running Sophie. DJ going to be going down as well. He was quite far up there. Chemo getting stun toss, called as well. The Torrent is up in 1 second, but I don't think he's going to be able to cast it, and down he goes. So it's a 2-for-1 trade. In terms of who got the kills, Wisp going down there is quite nice for the Invoker. He got a nice Sunstrike off there from across the map. DJ, I'm not sure why he was standing up here, but I guess he was trying to hide in the trees maybe, but he either way died as well. Probably favouring WG-Uni there slightly. And of course, meanwhile this is all happening, you know, Meepo now has got a little bit more map control. He can farm up a bit better. Doesn't have to worry as much, because the 2 supports are dead for a brief period of time. Got 1.4k gold in the bank, and there you go, the dust as well. Like I was saying, he wasn't carrying dust before, so no dust meant he couldn't really pick off any of the supports by himself. So he's made the very smart decision of immediately picking up the dust to deal with that. Oh, and that's another big item pickup. Tiny has managed to get up his Arcanum Scepter. He's overtaken the Mirana in the net worth after that little fight there, taking down the supports. And now, oh, Invoker is in trouble. He's going to have some really quick reflexes. He's got the Ghost Walk up. Does try and use it and teleport out, but there's that dust. That really smart pickup by Arjit. He's managed to make it there immediately with those boots of travel, popping the dust, and Sophie Turner going down. That's Abed with a killing spree, being taken there by Nana on the Tiny. And it looks like now a Roshan attempt will be coming out. Meepos, going to be coming in to help out. Tiny, of course, hits very, very hard now. And with that Wisp, he'll be hitting very, very fast as well. Argon Scepter boosting his damage up to 200 base damage. A little bit terrifying. We haven't really seen much from the Elder Titan at all this game. I mean, after the early game laning phase, he hasn't really joined the fights. Mirana going in, Starstorm, double Starstorm with backing the Meepo very, very low. The bash from Roshan, is Roshan going to kill Meepo? No. Makes it under 50 health, the Sunstrike coming through. Again, getting them all very, very low, but not managing to secure a kill. Wisp is going to teleport out with the boat, the torrent. It might catch a Meepo. Yes, it does. It gets the Aegis down, and there's one Meepo standing in there. They've got the torrent up again. The arrow coming through, landing again. All the Meepos are ready to go. Double Starstorm landing through. That Meepo's one more hit, but can they get the kill? No, they can't. The Disruption not doing enough. And here comes a beautiful ulti by the Elder Titan, landing on 2. The Stomp as well. The Sunstrike coming through. Doesn't hit on Kang, but I don't know if it matters. Arthur is going to be the target of choice, but he manages to relocate out. Now Kang's going to be taking a fall. And they took down 3 in exchange for 2. They lost the Mirana, they lost the Kunkka, but they got the Tiny and the Meepo and the Axe. They managed to kill all 3 cores and the Aegis in one really nicely done fight. And I mean, that was perfect ulti there from the Elder Titan. I mean, I was saying that it's very hard for him to get a good ult off, but in the Roshan pit, coming from this angle here, he pretty much excels, because what can they do? You're stuck here and there's an Elder Titan ult and right in the middle. Very, very hard. So with that, they'll be able to push down this tier 2. They lost the Roshan, but honestly, I think what they got in return was worth far more. The time to take down another tower, especially a tier 2 on the mid lane. This is going to cut off the control of the jungles. Both the the ancient stack as well as the normal jungle is going to be quite a lot here. It's going to be very, very hard for the players from WG Unity to start farming as aggressively. And if you can cut off the farm from Tiny and Meepo, that will give them a much better chance to actually win this game. Because Tiny and Meepo were getting quite scary. In fact, they are still quite scary. In the mid lane, going in on Kang, even using a boat there. Smacked on the head by a boat. Axe can't survive that. And down he goes. So 15 to 13 on the board. The tier 2 tower here, very, very easy to kill. But nobody's going in. It looks like they're content now to actually push. I think they realized that this could be a really good opportunity. No Axe for 30 seconds. Meepo and Tiny are able to fight, but they're not quite at the level they want to be. Because normally Meepo at 21 minutes into the game, I mean, Ajit is doing quite well, but normally he would have up sort of a Dragonlance or something else by now in addition to these items. He has lag behind slightly in the farm because they've been dealing with him pretty thoroughly. Just playing super aggressively, having that Kunkka, knowing he's going to keep him up. Nana getting harassed down a lot there with the Sunstrike. And they managed to get a tier 3. I think they're content with this. Tiny, though, going in Disruption, going to be keeping the Invoker alive for half a second. The Torrent, nice 2-man Torrent, the Starstorm as well. But in comes the Meepo. The Core going to be landing onto Chemo. Chemo takes a fall. Ajit throwing the nets out. He wants to try and get down someone, but the Moonlight Shadow is coming out. Does he have Dust? Yes, they've used Dust already. Toby Turner, he is going to be taken down there, absolutely destroyed. A triple kill for Ajit. Make this an ultra kill possibly because the Mirana is still there. The Stomp going to be keeping her alive for half a second, but Oracle cleaning him up. And that is a 4-man wipe. Elder Titan was the last one standing. He managed to make it out barely. And that is a massive 1.4k gold going to the Meepo. 2.2k gold, or 2.3k even, gold change in favor of WG Unity. And that overextension there might have sealed Execration's fate. This game just got exceptionally hard. We'll have to wait for the graphs to update, but I'm expecting a massive drop down. They were barely in the lead in terms of golden experience anyway, but now it's even less so. And Chemo in the mid lane, he's throwing out the boat, trying to keep himself alive. He's got no backup at all. He does manage to get an X marks the spot off, so this could be the death of a Meepo. The one incredibly low, shadowed him and gave the demonic purge off, but Nana is there, throwing him up in the air. He's got the disruption, he wants to use it. Can he catch out Nana? Yes, he can! Meepo goes down, and now Nana, he's stuck! So if you turn a blinking in and just taking him down, and that is the 2 cores dead again. And what was I saying about Execration might have just thrown their chances? What I meant was WG Unity might have just thrown their chances. They could get a Rax from this. Meepo has no buyback, and forcing a buyback from the Tiny is huge because he is so close to that BKB. They can force a buyback from the Tiny. Then again, if they kill him one more time after that, then they can easily get a Rax for sure. But also that BKB is going to be laid quite significantly because buyback is 754 gold. That's going to take him another, 3 to 4 minutes to farm the BKB up. And I think he's not going to be forced to do it. They didn't push fast enough. But he's still not going to have the BKB for this fight unless he can, make a magical 100 gold out of nowhere. Moonlight Shadow coming out. Mirana. Whoa, 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 whoa. She gone cray-cray. Linking in, trying to harass down the supports. They got the range racks. I think they're going to leave it now. They don't want to get the melee as well. They learnt their lesson from last time and do not want to overextend. Wisp just tethering up Nana. So that is the BKB done on the Tiny. Mirana, what are you doing? Where are you going? They're having way too much fun with it. That should not be a spell they use for fun in the grand final of a tournament. X marks the spot and then just run into the enemy base. I guess what they're thinking is if they can catch Arfu out, Arfu will die very, very quickly to the double star storm. Which he will, granted, but I don't know if they actually have enough damage to insta-kill him. Mirana doesn't have anything like a Veil of Discord to boost up the magical damage. I guess they could have the Elder Titan Spirit going in, but I don't think they did. Either way now, golden experience. I mean, it did fall down quite a lot, and then back up, and then down, and then back up. So it is looking in Execration's favor now, but, I mean, when you're versing a Meepo and a Tiny, the game ain't over until the throne falls. And that is the most important thing that Execration need to remember, is that it doesn't matter how much of a gold lead they get. That Meepo, that Tiny, can still flash farm incredibly well, and their damage output is insane in team fights. A Meepo with a 5-man poof on your head is going to kill most heroes, not to mention the added damage from the Geo Strike, which slows you down and doesn't really let you get away. There will be a smoke gank now coming out. Meepo's just sending in a single lone Meepo while the rest of them go back to base. They could be finding this Elder Titan. He is still standing around farming quite aggressively. In fact, DJ's there as well, and yeah, Axe gets the call off. DJ, he gets a disruption off, maybe saving the life. Moonlight Shadow is out, but they've got 2 dusts. They're going to use it, throwing him down. DJ, he did manage to stay out of range of the dust, but the X marks the spot coming through. The arrow as well. Sunstrike going to be coming out, and this is going to be a big fight coming through. Kang is going to get disrupted there, but the BKB is popped on the Tiny and the Mirana, both of them running into the middle of the fight. Now Chemo's getting bashed up, but the disruption going to be keeping DJ alive for half a second. He manages to blink out, even with Nana stunning on him, and Ajit's so low. Ajit will go down there. Now they're looking at Nana. Sophie Turner's trying to one-on-one him. The cold snaps on Nana. He's so tanky though, but he will be going down with DJ's bonus damage combined with the Shadow Poison stacks, and that is going to be another 3 dead. Tiny does have buyback, but Meepo does not, and this time I feel like Tiny might be forced to buyback. Wisp should be up in time, but that was a really big fight for Execration to win there, and that's just what they needed. Oh, and a Sentry Ward dropped down, in fact. Gonna be dewarding. Sophie Turner now, just blinking into the base when making himself magic immune, but the Sunstrike gonna land anyway, and it doesn't matter if you're magic immune. Sunstrike is pure damage. It goes through all types of immunities, and the Rax is definitely going down. Abed is showing Ajit who is the Meepo boss. You pick Meepo against Ajit, sorry, against Abed, and you will lose, he says. Alright, pick up the items quickly so you guys can have a look at anyone you're interested in. Items that are pretty big, I would say. DJ is actually exceptionally fat for a support. He's got a Blink Dagger and Aether Lens, Arcane Boots. We did see, his quick-witted escape from the Tiny. He disrupted himself and then managed to blink out before the Tiny even knew what was happening. And that is always great when your supports don't have to instantly die every single team fight. Chemo has rotated a little bit into a DPS build, I think. Looks like an Armor's coming out. He's decided to drop off his Wind Lance in favor of Dust. But with that, he should be good to do some more damage. And Arrow will be landing there onto Kang. The double Starstorm and the Sunstrike sealing the deal. Again, magic immunity don't mean crap. You need to false promise him if he gets hit with that arrow. But he wants to save the false promise for the team fights, of course. Completely reasonable. Mid lane, Sophie Turner now just 2v1ing. Gonna get down Arfu, and a double kill there for him. Abed just going ham across the map. Piper's popped, and they're going in for this tier 3 tower. Buyback from the Wisp. Axe has got buyback. I don't know if he's going to use it. This is really WG Unity. Pressure is on them to defend this Rax. Oracle has got the false promise up, and Meepo, he's lurking in the trees, but there is going to be a Mirana coming through. Arrow, not going to land. Meepo manages to blink out. Nicely done there by him. But the Rax are getting very low. Tiny blinking forward, going onto Sophie Turner. Arbed going to get disrupted there by DJ. BKB has popped on the Mirana, and she's going after Arfu, trying to get that Wisp down. Wisp will be taking a fall. Now Nana, he has got the false promise on him, so he's feeling pretty happy to go in aggressively, but he tosses the Mirana into 2. Starstorm not going to be doing anything. When getting very, very low. Kang is going to get healed up there. No, the heal actually lands onto a creep, so he is not going to heal at all, and he's going to be taking a fall. Double kill there onto the Mirana, and Sophie Turner getting a solo kill, and now Nana, he's blinking in. Desperation attempt. Meepo is back into the fight as well, but the torrent, the boat landing on his head. Triple kill there for the Mirana. And Kunkka is going to take down Arjit. Ultra kill for Mirana, and Gigi's just going to be called out. This tiny Meepo strat not working out. You could see what they were going for, but unfortunately for our WG, XctN managed to just outplay them at every turn. Oh, so that's game 1-ish down with a 1-point advantage for WG. So GG, well played to both teams. Thank you, of course, to MSI for sponsoring this tournament, as well as Dota 2 Lounge. And as always, thank you to you guys for watching and supporting the Dota 2 Southeast Asian scene. We've got a lot more games coming up because it is a best of 5 and score is currently 1-1. So I'll see you guys there.